Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Volley Rally. This week, I'm joined by JD Musick from North Georgia Toyota. They've been a great long-term user of Volley, and he wanted to sit down with us and share his thoughts on how things are going. JD, thanks for the time. How's it going today?
It's going good, man. Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Anything I can do to help, let me know. Whatever we need to do.
Well, certainly appreciate that. And for those of you who are watching this, JD's been a good partner for us. And so let's go ahead and dive right in. And we've done a couple of these volley rallies with customer success stories before, and they've been kind of with multi-store groups. But we wanted to bring JD on here because he's a highly successful single store operator of Volley. So with that said, using Volley as a single store, how has it helped your operations?
I think part of it is it's given us the opportunity or the ability to kind of operate almost a call center. Maybe like some of the big stores, to be able to efficiently get or make outbound phone calls efficiently, send text messages, emails, do all the things that maybe a big call center would normally do. We're able to do in-house with a small staff because it's so efficient. Everything is so easy. It's to send a text message, send an email, make a phone call, all right there on one screen. So we're able to just hammer out phone calls, hammer out contact attempts, quickly and efficiently, like some of the big boys do.
Mm-hmm.
But without having to have 100 employees or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And can you talk a little bit about when you initially started using Volley, what that looked like?
Yeah, so initially we started in the service department, our service BDC. We were kind of in the stone age at the time with using Excel spreadsheets, and we would download data out of TLE or out of the DMS, just start making phone calls. You'd have to keep track of, have I called this person? Have I, what was the attempt like? Did we leave a message? Did we schedule an appointment? So everything was done in an Excel spreadsheet, and everybody worked out of a shared Google Doc or whatever. And it's just terribly inefficient. So we began looking for something that would allow us to, kind of a customer communication platform. And one of our vendors that we use, Proactive Dealer Solutions, I was telling her what we were looking for, and this was just about the time that COVID started. And she was telling me that they use, your Volley software in house, and kind of described how it worked. And one thing led to another, and so she set up a meeting with, I think it was Joanne at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and she kind of did a demo, and it checked all the boxes in terms of what we were looking for. And so we started using it in our service department, just pulling DMS data, building out campaigns that way, and just recently started using it for our sales BDC as well. But we started in service, and we were with service for probably 9 months. And it could pretty easily see or quickly see that it was something we wanted to incorporate in sales, but we just wanted to get our feet wet with service and kind of get a better understanding of how everything works.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we've recently launched sales, and that's going great too with the eLead API integration. We're able to get data out of eLead, pretty quickly, and start making phone calls and sending text messages, things like that.
Well, like you said, I think of a BDC as a miniature call center, and so I totally get where you're coming from there. So with that said, operating your BDC like that now, how many agents do you have, and are they doing inbound, outbound?
Yeah, so we've got 5 agents total in our service and sales BDC. We do divide it up, but they do inbound and outbound. So they're making all the outbound phone calls, and then all of the service inbound calls come directly into Volley. Like I said, we've just launched the sales side, so we've not brought in the sales inbound calls in the Volley yet. I just want to get our feet wet and kind of take baby steps so that everybody's kind of comfortable with one process before we bring in another aspect of it. But that's eventually the plan, is to bring all sales inbound calls into Volley as well. It just makes sense to do that. since it'll pull up the customer information the minute they're calling in. We'll know who it is. We'll know that they're, a trade pending lead that we called earlier today. You can immediately see, what the active open lead is. So it just makes sense to bring in all calls into Volley so that everything's being logged, and it just speeds up the process. But on the sales side, we're taking baby steps. Getting used to outbound, and then, like I said, we'll bring it inbound probably in the next couple of weeks.
How do your agents like working in Volley?
They really like it. I think anytime you launch something new, you have at least you're nervous because, we've always done it this way, and there's some hesitancy there, but I think pretty quickly that everybody that had been doing things the old way could realize just how much easier this is, how much quicker it is. I can complete so many tasks, so it makes it easy to teach somebody that's been doing things the old way. But also on the new hire front, we've had a lot of success with taking new employees and being able to plug them into Volley and immediately, start making phone calls, setting appointments, that kind of thing. And we've actually hired a couple of folks that have served or worked at call centers outside of this industry, and they were it was a natural fit for them because they're used to seeing something like this, and so they were able to just hit the ground running. But so I mean, it works really well for new people and getting them up and going quickly. But the people that have been doing things the old way also, it works so efficiently that any of that hesitation that they may have initially had just kind of melts away, just because they say, hey, this is truly making my job a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always nice when everybody kind of sees the big picture and sees that this is something that's good for us. And like I said, it makes things a lot easier. We've not had any real hesitation from or lack of buy-in. Everybody's been quick to embrace it and use it. Ultimately, our plan is to have our sales team outside of the BDC in Volley as well, making their follow-up calls for their showroom ups. But I think those folks will probably embrace it just the same, because it's so intuitive. It's so easy to complete your task, and I just think that's the direction we're headed. But I'm excited to see where it goes. Like I said, we've not had any issues with employee buy-in. Everybody's been so happy to use it because it makes your life easier.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to branch off of that with bringing new people in. How has it work? How has it helped or simplified the onboarding process for new team members?
So so when you pull up a customer or you're in a campaign, you pull up a customer file, you see what you're calling for immediately. So if it's it's been 4 months since I've been in for an RO, you're able to see immediately that that's what we're calling for. So you've got that information in front of you. You've got a call script in front of you that tells you, what to say if you leave a message, what to say if the customer, picks up. So with the scripting right there in front of you, and it's adaptable to each, different campaign. It just makes it easy to train a new employee. Anybody can hop in and read what's in front of them. So even for those new employees that are unsure about what they're doing, just having the scripting in front of them that's customizable depending on the lead or the campaign it just makes that easy. There's it's very thorough.
Mm-hmm. One of the neat things you're doing as a Toyota store is we've started to load in your TIS leads or your connected car leads. How has that worked out for you?
Good. So in Dealer Daily, when you set up the notifications for any of the TIS leads, you just put in an ADF email. Volley provides that. So then whenever that customer's information or that customer cranks their car and their maintenance light's on, it automatically fires off that notification to the ADF email. And then that comes into Volley. It queues up the call, and our reps reach out to the customer. So, it immediately pulls in the VIN, the customer name, customer phone number, all of that information, and we're able to call and say, hey, we just wanted to reach out to you and notice that your check engine light's on or your maintenance light just came on, and want to see if we can get you in for your next service. And it's that simple. Every time the call comes in, or every time the customer cranks the car, it sends a notification, but Volley will catch that second notification so it doesn't send up or queue up a second phone call. So it keeps the customer from being called multiple times on the same issue. But and that's just kind of some of the built-in logic there.
Mm-hmm. And one of the neat things about it is that it allows you to get right in front of those customers when they come in. And you told me that you have a lot of folks who, oh yeah, I was just about to call you for that, and we appreciate the call. How often that comes up, right?
Yeah, it comes up all the time. I mean, so just imagine you're the customer. You hop in your car. You're gonna run the lunch at work or something, and you all of a sudden your maintenance light's on, and you think, oh crap, I got to call the dealership, and before you know it, you're getting a call from us because we've received that notification, and that's just kind of a good touch point from the dealership to the customer. The customers appreciate it. It makes their life easier. They don't have to go, Google the number and call us, or, wait on hold to get in front of one of our reps. We're able to, through Volley, reach out immediately. We make a phone call. If we leave a voicemail, we'll follow that up with an email and a text message. Text message says, hey, this is so-and-so with North Georgia Toyota. We're able to schedule the appointment through via text message, whatever we need to do. And it just gives us it gives the customer a good experience with the dealership, and kind of leveraging the technology that Toyota's put in all the cars, and allows us to just, be there when the customers need us immediately, even before they're, necessarily, ready to call us. We're able to reach out preemptively there. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty slick.
Mm-hmm. One of the things, and we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but just to spend another minute on it, we've recently turned on eLead, the eLead integration for your sales agents. How has that gone?
It's going very well. So that was something that was new for us before. All the service leads come in via ADF email. So the eLead API integration, immediately, and when a lead comes in the eLead, it gets routed into Volley, and we've just turned off all of our campaigns in eLead and exclusively operate out of Volley. So when we make a phone call, send a text message, send an email, all of that gets logged into eLead. So any of the other managers that aren't operating in Volley can still see that, hey, these customers are being contacted. All of that stuff's there. When an appointment gets made, we set the appointment in Volley. It automatically puts the appointment in eLead. So there's still the record keeping, but everything's flowing well. Like I said, we're able to make more phone calls in a shorter amount of time. We're able to, send out text messages easily. So, I mean, everything's worked well. I mean, the API integration is pretty slick. Talking with other vendors that have utilized, eLeads for their API for stuff, have all said that, eLead has an API that's very strong. So I can't speak to other CRM companies necessarily, but they've all been really impressed with eLead's API, and I think Volley's done a good job of integrating with it and making it work for us.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that you told me when we were sitting down and originally talked about doing this Volie Rally together is you told me that as a single store, you don't have the luxury of making mistakes with things. You have to get things right from the get-go. You don't have other locations to balance things out. You have to do well there. And but I also know that you try to come up with new ideas and implement them into your operations. What's your thought process when wanting to do those new things, and how has Volley helped you?
So, part of the thing that's helped us a lot is having a good team at Volley that we're able to say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are the implications going to be? If we do this, how can we make this work? This is kind of my vision. This is what I'm working with. How can we set this up and make it work? So that, that's been helpful. We've got some ideas we're working with Pearson on right now that that I think you know, will allow us to kind of go to that next level in terms of, thinking outside of the box and using Volley for things that maybe, we didn't originally see potential there. But having a good team of being able, at Volley to be able to bounce ideas off of, kind of zero in on, what's this going to take to make it work? What are the checks and balances, that kind of thing. Um, it's been, it's been pretty good. Everybody that I've talked with has been pretty sharp with the software, how to utilize it, all of those kind of things.
Mm-hmm. One of the last things you wanted to touch on was how you've been really working hard to cut costs and how that's been a priority for you. How has working with Volley and working with Pearson, like you said, helped you work on those opportunities?
So, there's a ton of vendors in this industry, and if you're not careful, all of them will nickel and dime you to death. You'll have this vendor that does this campaign, and that vendor that handles all of your surveys and all that kind of stuff. And if before you know it, you're spending, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 a month on this, and then another 2,000 here. And a lot of them, all they're doing is pulling data out of your DMS and making phone calls or sending text messages for survey attempts and, to get Google reviews, that kind of thing. And truthfully, we have the ability to do that with Volley. So, we're able to, or we're going to be able to soon, start sending out, Google surveys for customers that have purchased. And I think, those kind of things, because Volley makes our BDC so efficient with our normal day-to-day task, it frees us up to be able to fire off those text messages to customers and maybe look at cutting out a vendor that we're using because we can keep it in-house. So the time savings in the BDC that Volley allows, kind of frees us up to be able to do these other things that maybe we're paying other vendors to do right now. And I think that's a good thing, because I want to keep everything in-house if I can. It works better. I kind of like to consolidate my vendors down to as few as possible. And Volley, gives us the ability to do that.
Well, that's great feedback, and really we never want to whack somebody, as I'm sure you know. But it is great to hear from a high performing single store about all the different ways that they're able to consolidate their different processes and operate it out of one system here.
Yeah.
Really, really appreciate you taking the time to walk through this with us. Any last closing thoughts? Before we go ahead and wrap this up?
No, not really. Like I said, I'm excited to see where this is going. It's something that I think we got turned on to pretty early on, and kind of y'all's development. So it's exciting to see things taking off, and I'm getting calls from other dealers, asking me my thoughts. What do they think? What do I think? That kind of stuff. So it's exciting to see y'all growing, and I think this is a good thing for the industry. It's a good thing for Toyota, especially. The way they integrate with their TIS. It's overall a good product and a good company to do business with, and I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you and your partnership as well. Thanks for the time here, JD, and thanks for everyone joining us. And we'll see you on the next Volley Rally. Have a great day.
Have a good day. Bye.